Hello friends, my name is Pankaj and I work for Vibrant Academy Kota. Today we are going to study modifiers. What is a modifier? A modifier is basically a describer. It describes something. A modifier is a word, phrase or clause that describes another word, phrase or clause. Let's look at the examples. Joseph is a faithful husband. Here, faithful is a modifier. It is modifying or qualifying or describing Joseph. The man in red shirt is my brother. In red shirt is a phrase. It is qualifying the man. Which man? The man in red shirt is my brother. The man who is standing there became my best man. Here, who is standing there is the modifier. It is describing the man. Which man? The man who is standing there became my best man. So in the first sentence, faithful is an adjective. It is describing Joseph. In the second sentence, in red shirt, it's a phrase. A phrase is a group of words that makes sense, that makes partial sense. It does not have its own subject and verb. The man who is standing there in this third sentence, who is standing there is a clause. Clause has its own subject and verb and predicate. So here, who is the subject and is standing there is the predicate. What is a misplaced modifier? A misplaced modifier is when the modifier in a sentence is separated from the word it describes, or the word it describes is not present at all. When there is a lot of distance between the modifier and the modified, it is called misplaced modifier. For example, the patient was referred to the psychologist with severe emotional problems. Here, with severe emotional problems, who has these problems? Does the psychologist have them? No. Who has them? The patient has them. This phrase, with severe emotional problems, should be put close to the patient and not close to the psychologist. It should be the patient with severe emotional problems was referred to the psychologist. Another example, walking through the woods in autumn, leaves began falling from the trees. It's again a wrong sentence. The right one would be, walking through the woods in autumn, I noticed the leaves falling from the trees. In the first sentence, what's wrong there? Walking through the woods in autumn, leaves. So here it seems that the leaves are walking through the woods in autumn. We don't see here who is walking. So, and leaves is the closest to this phrase, and therefore we would conclude that leaves are walking, which is impossible. So it is a wrong sentence. The right one would be, walking through the woods in autumn, I noticed the leaves falling from the trees. Another example, Joy sees the India Gate jogging every morning. That's funny. India Gate cannot jog. Joy sees the India Gate jogging every morning. It is wrong. What should be the right one? While jogging every morning, Joy sees the India Gate. It's Joy who does the jogging. So while jogging every morning, Joy sees the India Gate. The next one, I saw a dead body running on the road. Well, can a dead body run? It cannot, obviously, so it should be, while running on the road, I saw a dead body. Dressed in a silk nightgown, he thought his wife looked gorgeous. Now here, dressed in a silk nightgown is put close to him. It seems that the man is dressed in a silk nightgown, which is impossible. Who is dressed in a silk nightgown? Well, it's the man's wife. Then, this dressed in a silk nightgown should be put close to the wife and not close to the husband. It should be, he thought his wife looked gorgeous dressed in a silk nightgown. Let's do some exercise. We have three options here. Which one is correct? In which one of them the modifier is put correctly? Let's check all of them one by one. Sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, Desmond saw mom's pristine birthday cake. Now, here, sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator is written just before Desmond. It's close to Desmond. And obviously, Desmond cannot be sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator. Desmond cannot enter it. Desmond is a boy. So this is a misplaced modifier. In the second one, Desmond sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator. Again, it seems that here in this sentence, Desmond is sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, which is again wrong. It's a misplaced modifier. The next one, Sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, mom's pristine birthday cake. Who was sitting there on the top shelf? It was the cake. So it should be put near the cake. Sitting on the top shelf of the refrigerator, mom's pristine birthday cake caught Desmond's attention. Option C would be the right one. The second one, again we have three options and we have to find out in which one of these three this modifier is placed correctly. Loudly slurping the bowl of hot soup. Derek's impolite behavior annoyed the other diner patrons. Now in this, we have loudly slurping the bowl of hot soup and it is the modifier. It is put close to who? It is put close to Derek's impolite behavior. Well, can Derek's impolite behavior slurp a bowl of hot soup? No, it's misplaced here. Again, as Derek loudly slurped the bowl of hot soup, his impolite behavior annoyed the other diner patrons. Here it seems to be right. Look at this one. As Derek loudly slurped the bowl. It is Derek who is loudly slurping the bowl of hot soup and his impolite behavior annoyed the other diner patrons. It was his impolite behavior. So it is right, but let's check the third one also. Loudly slurping the hot soup, the other diner patrons were annoyed by Derek's impolite behavior. Well, here the other diner patrons is put close to loudly slurping the hot soup and it seems that the diner patrons are slurping the hot soup. So it is wrong again. Who is slurping the hot soup? It's Derek and so it should be close to Derek and not close to the other diner patrons. So here the right option would be B. Third one. Seated by the window, Barbara munched popcorn on the long bus ride home. Yeah, seated by the window is the modifier here. It seems right because Barbara is seated by the window. Let's check the other ones also. Seated by the window, popcorn was munched by Barbara. Well, was popcorn seated by the window? No, it wasn't. It's misplaced here. Barbara munched popcorn seated by the, again, seated by the window is put close to popcorn and popcorn cannot be seated by the window. It is Barbara who can be seated by the window and therefore option A is right. Seated by the window, Barbara munched popcorn on the long bus ride home. Option A is the right option. Next one. Rosalind struggled up the 3 flights of stairs in her new jeans, which were too tight for comfort. Well, here, which were too tight for comfort, well, it is jeans that were tight and so we see that the modifier is put close to jeans and it is right. However, let's check the other options too. Too tight for comfort, Rosalind. Now, is Rosalind too tight for comfort? No. In the third one, in her new jeans, Rosalind struggled up 3 flights of stairs which were too tight for comfort. Well, here which were too tight for comfort? What is tight for comfort? Well, it's the jeans, not the stairs. Clear? Here it seems that the stairs are too tight for comfort. It is again misplaced modifier. So the right one is Rosalind struggled up the 3 flights of stairs in her new jeans which were too tight for comfort. So right answer would be option A. The next one. Twisting in the strong wind, we knew the hurricane was close as we watched the trees. Twisting in the strong wind. Well, who's twisting here? We? We're not twisting. It's wrong. Again, we knew the hurricane was close as we watched the trees twisting in the strong wind. Trees can be twisting. It seems to be right. However, let's check the third one. We knew the hurricane was close, twisting in the wind as we watched the trees. Well, here it seems that the hurricane was twisting. It's the trees that are being twisted. So, option B would be the right option. Sixth one. Applying red toenail paint, Will asked Rhonda. Well, Will is a man, Rhonda is a woman. And applying red toenail paint is put close to Will. And so it is modifying Will, which is inappropriate because Will must not have been applying red toenail paint. That's bizarre. Men don't really wear paint, toenail paint. Second one, Will asked Rhonda who was applying red toenail paint. Well, yes, here who was applying red toenail paint, it is the modifier, it's put close to Rhonda and it is right because Rhonda was doing it. So Will asked Rhonda, who was applying red toenail paint, if she could interrupt her beauty regimen to go to the mall. This seems to be the right answer. Let's check the other one too. Will asked if Rhonda could interrupt her beauty regimen. Will asked if Rhonda could interrupt her beauty regimen to go to the mall, which was applying red toenail paint. Here it seems that the mall is applying toenail paint, which is wrong. So the right option would be B, where Rhonda is applying the toenail paint, and applying toenail paint is put close to Rhonda. 7th, struggling with the algebra problem. The pencil tapped nervously on Kenneth's desk. Well, who is struggling with the algebra problem? Here it seems that the pencil is struggling with the algebra problem, which is not right. Obviously, the pencil cannot struggle with the algebra problem. In the second one, struggling with the algebra problem, Kenneth's desk was tapped nervously with the pencil. Well, here it seems that Kenneth's desk is struggling with the algebra problem because it's put close to it. It's again wrong. Struggling with the algebra problem, Kenneth nervously tapped his pencil on the desk. It seems right, and it is actually right. Why? Because it is Kenneth who is struggling with the algebra problem. Inanimate objects like desk and pencil cannot be struggling with algebra problem. It's a human being that has to struggle. So it is right. C is right. 8. Marking his score sheet with care, the hope this week was that Byron would pass his vocabulary quiz. Well, who is marking his score sheet with care? Is it Hope? No. Then it should not be put close to Hope. In the second one, marking his score sheet with care, Byron hoped that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz. Well, who's marking the score sheet? It's Byron. It seems to be right. Marking his score sheet with care, Byron hoped that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz. It seems to be right. Why? Because Byron is close to it, the modifier. And then, hoping that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz, the score sheet was marked carefully by Byron. Well, hoping that this week he would pass, well, this is the modifier, hoping that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz, and the score is put close to it. Well, the score cannot have been hoping. It's Byron who's been hoping, and therefore, it should be what? B answer. Marking the score sheet with care, Byron hoped that this week he would pass his vocabulary quiz. Option B is the right option. Question number 9. Splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, Jessica cooled her hot feet. Well, who is splashing in the puddles? Jessica. That seems to be right answer. Let's check the other ones also. Splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, the cool water refreshed Jessica's hot feet. Well, here it seems that, like splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm. It is the modifier. The cool water is put close to it, so it seems that the cool water is splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, which is wrong. It's Jessica who is splashing in the puddle, and therefore it is wrong. B is wrong. Splashing in the puddles, the thunderstorm. Well, is the thunderstorm splashing in the puddle? No. It's Jessica who is splashing in the puddles left by the thunderstorm, and therefore option A is the right option. Question number 10. Huddled by the door, the rain made the wet kitten cry to come in. Well, the rain. Is the rain huddled by the door? It's not. Therefore, it's wrong here. The rain is not huddled by the door. Here, crying to come in, the door is, well, crying to come in is the modifier here. And the door is where? Well, is the door crying to come in? It cannot, obviously. So, it's again misplaced modifier. But then the next one, huddled by the door, the wet kitten. Well, the kitten may have been huddled by the door. And that is right answer. Huddled by the door, the wet kitten cried to come in from the rain. So option C is the right option.